Ever found yourself running out of things to talk about? It's a predicament that we've all been in, right? There you are in the middle of a conversation and suddenly there's this awkward silence. As the seconds tick by, you start to panic. You can't think of anything to say. The words just don't come. You see, the art of conversation is much more than just exchanging words. It's about connecting with others, sharing ideas, and building relationships. It's about learning, growing, and experiencing the world through someone else's perspective. And most importantly, it's about making meaningful connections. But what happens when the words just aren't there? What happens when the conversation stalls and you're left with nothing but silence? It can be frustrating, it can be embarrassing, but it doesn't have to be. So how do we keep the conversation flowing? Let's dive in. The first thing to remember is to know your audience. See, being a conversation maestro isn't just about having a bottomless pit of topics. It's about understanding who you're talking to and what makes them tick. Imagine you're speaking with a teenager. You might want to talk about the latest trends, video games, or maybe the newest music sensation. On the other hand, if you're conversing with your boss, you might want to focus on work-related topics or shared professional interests. It's like being a DJ, you've got to play the right tunes for the right crowd. Now, relationship to the listener also plays a key role. With your best mate, you can talk about almost anything under the sun. But with someone you've just met, you might want to keep things light in general, at least at first. Knowing your audience is the first step in having an endless list of conversation topics. The second tip is to embrace curiosity. Curiosity is not just about the pursuit of knowledge. It's about being genuinely interested in the world around you, and more importantly, in the person standing right in front of you. Conversations are not just about speaking, they're about listening, understanding, and engaging. And one of the best ways to do this is by asking questions. Asking questions not only keeps the conversation flowing, but it also demonstrates your interest in the other person. It shows that you value their thoughts, their experiences, and their perspective. And when someone feels valued, they're more likely to open up, to share, and to engage in a deeper, more meaningful conversation. Now, there's an art to asking questions. You don't want to come across like an interrogator or a nosy Parker. You want to ask open-ended questions, questions that invite elaboration. Instead of asking, "Did you enjoy your vacation?" you could ask, "What was the most memorable part of your vacation?" The latter question invites a story, a sharing of experiences, and ultimately, a richer conversation. Or instead of asking, "Do you like your job?" you could ask, "What's the most fulfilling part of your job?" Again, this invites a deeper response and shows that you're not just making conversation for conversation's sake. You're genuinely interested in the other person's experiences and perspective. Asking open-ended questions also gives you more material to work with. The more the other person talks, the more you learn about them, and the more topics you have to explore. It's like a conversation snowball effect. One question leads to another, and before you know it, you've got a full-blown, engaging conversation on your hands. So next time you find yourself in a conversation, remember to embrace curiosity. Ask open-ended questions, show genuine interest, and watch how the conversation blossoms. Remember, curiosity didn't just kill the cat, it also kept the conversation alive. Our third tip is to be observant. If you've ever found yourself stuck in a conversation, staring blankly as your mind races for something to say, you're not alone. But here's the secret. The world around you is teeming with potential conversation starters. Think about it. You're sitting in a cafe, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee wafting through the air. Maybe there's a couple at the next table, laughing over a shared secret. Or maybe there's a barista expertly crafting latte art with a flick of the wrist. Each of these details is a potential conversation thread just waiting to be pulled. So, how do you use these observations to create engaging comments or questions? The trick is to be genuinely interested and curious. If you notice someone wearing a band's t-shirt you like, don't just say, "Cool shirt." Ask them what their favorite song is, or if they've ever seen the band live. Observation isn't just about what you see though, it's about using all of your senses. Maybe you hear the faint strains of a song that brings back memories. Or perhaps you taste a hint of cinnamon in your coffee that you weren't expecting. Remember, there's no such thing as a boring observation. Even the most mundane details can spark an exciting conversation if you approach them with curiosity and enthusiasm. But here's the catch. Observation is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. Start by simply paying more attention to your surroundings. Notice the little things, the way the sunlight filters through the leaves, the rhythm of a raindrop hitting a window, the hum of a city waking up. In time, you'll start to see potential conversations everywhere. You'll be able to weave your observations into your interactions, making your conversations richer and more engaging. You'll find that the world is full of interesting things to talk about if only you take the time to notice them. So don't just look, observe, listen, taste, smell, feel. With keen observation skills, you'll never run out of things to say. The fourth trick in our bag is the power of storytelling. Now this is where things get really interesting. Storytelling isn't just about spinning tales around a campfire or narrating a bedtime story to your kids. Storytelling is a vital, yet often overlooked component of effective communication. So why are stories so powerful? Well, stories are relatable, they're a reflection of our own experiences and they allow us to see the world through someone else's eyes. They make us feel, and when we feel, we connect. And connection, my friends, is the secret ingredient to engaging and unforgettable conversations. Imagine this. You're at a social gathering and someone asks, "How was your day?" You could simply reply, "Oh, it was fine," and leave it at that. Or you could share a little anecdote about how you spilled coffee on your shirt in the morning and how that led to a series of unexpected events. Suddenly, your fine day becomes an adventure, a comedy or a drama, and your conversation becomes a shared experience. But remember, the art of storytelling doesn't mean you have to recount an epic saga every time you open your mouth. It's about sharing personal experiences or anecdotes that are relevant to the conversation. It's about turning the mundane into the meaningful. For instance, if you're discussing travel, share a little story about your own travel experience. If you're talking about movies, share an anecdote about the first movie that really moved you. By doing this, you're not just adding substance to the conversation, you're also giving the other person a glimpse into your world. So, the next time you find yourself in a conversation, don't just answer questions, tell a story, share an experience, make your conversations more than just an exchange of words. A good story can turn a mundane chat into a riveting conversation. So harness the power of storytelling and watch your conversations transform from ordinary to extraordinary. Our last tip for today is to stay informed. Now, this might seem like a no-brainer, but it's surprising how many people overlook this. Keeping abreast of the latest news, popular culture, or sports can provide a treasure trove of conversation topics. Whether it's the latest blockbuster movie, a thrilling sports match, or a groundbreaking news event, these topics can spark engaging discussions. However, it's crucial to tread carefully when it comes to sensitive topics. Be it politics, religion, or social issues, these can often ignite passionate debates. It's essential to approach these discussions with respect and an open mind. Remember, the goal is to have a conversation, not a confrontation. So read that book, watch that movie, follow that sports league. Not only will this make you more knowledgeable, but it will also give you a wide array of topics to talk about. Staying informed doesn't just make you a good citizen, it makes you a great conversationalist. So, there you have it, 5 tips to ensure you never run out of things to talk about. Let's quickly run through them one more time, just to make sure they've sunk in. Firstly, knowing your audience is key. Understand who you're talking to and what they're interested in. Secondly, embrace your curiosity. Ask questions, dig deeper, and let your natural curiosity lead the conversation. Thirdly, be observant. Use your surroundings to spark conversation topics. Then we discuss the power of storytelling. Sharing personal experiences and anecdotes can make your conversations more engaging and relatable. And finally, stay informed. Keep up to date with current events and popular culture to have a wide array of subjects at your disposal. Remember, these aren't hard and fast rules, but guiding principles to help you navigate any conversation. With these tips in your conversational toolkit, you're ready to talk the talk, no matter the situation.